Imagine waking up tomorrow and checking the global bank balance of the world, not your bank account, not your country's, all of it, and realizing that trillions of dollars exist, even though no one worked for them, no factory, no invention, no overtime. They simply appeared. That sounds like a conspiracy or a mistake, but it's not. It's how the modern money system actually works, and once you see it, it's very hard to unsee, because this isn't just about abstract numbers on a screen. It shapes inflation, housing prices, interest rates, your salary, your future taxes. This matters right now because more money has been created in the last few years than in most of modern history combined, quietly, legally, with full confidence from the people doing it. So the question isn't, is this real? The question is, how did we build a system where trillions of dollars can exist without anyone earning them? Let's start somewhere familiar. When you earn money, you trade time, skill, or risk for it. You work, you sell, you invest. There's an effort, a cost, a constraint. That logic feels natural, almost moral. Money should represent something real. But zoom out to the level of governments and central banks, and that logic breaks, because the largest piles of money in the world are not earned. They are issued. To understand this, forget coins, forget cash, forget gold. Modern money is mostly numbers inside computers. When a government needs money, it doesn't go to a vault. It doesn't wait for profits. It borrows. It issues government bonds. These are IOUs. Lend us money now. We'll pay you back later. With interest. Banks buy them. Pension funds buy them. Insurance companies buy them. Foreign governments buy them. So far, this sounds normal. Borrowing isn't magic. Here's where it gets strange. What happens when there aren't enough buyers? Or when borrowing becomes too expensive? Or when the system itself is in danger? That's when central banks step in. A central bank does not earn money. It does not produce value. It does not sell anything. It creates money. Not by printing trucks of cash. That's the cartoon version. It creates money by typing. When a central bank buys government bonds, it doesn't use saved money. It credits bank reserves into existence. Before the transaction, those dollars did not exist. After the transaction, they do. No one lost them. No one earned them. They were created because the system decided it needed them. This is called money creation, but that phrase hides how radical it is. It's not creation like building a house. It's creation like changing a number, and the scale is enormous. After the 2008 financial crisis, central banks created trillions to stabilize markets. After the pandemic, they created even more, faster. In some countries, the money supply increased by 30, 40, even 50% in just a few years. No equivalent increase in goods, no matching increase in productivity, just more money. At first, this doesn't feel like a problem. Markets calm down. Governments can spend. People get relief checks. Businesses survive. It feels like a solution. And that's the irony. The system works precisely because it feels painless at the start. But money doesn't disappear into the air. It flows. And where it flows matters. New money doesn't land equally. It enters through specific doors. Banks, financial markets, government spending channels. The people closest to those doors feel rich first. Asset prices rise. Stocks go up. Real estate climbs. By the time the money reaches everyday prices, the effect flips. Groceries cost more. Rent increases. Education gets expensive. Wages, slower to adjust, chase prices upward. So when people ask, why does everything feel more expensive even though I didn't get richer? This is part of the answer. The money existed. You just weren't the first to touch it. There's another layer that makes this even more unsettling. Most money isn't created by governments or central banks. It's created by banks. When a bank gives you a loan, it doesn't hand you someone else's savings. It creates new money. Your loan becomes a deposit. A number appears in your account. Again, before the loan, that money didn't exist. After the loan, it does. This means money is born as debt. Every dollar created this way has an obligation attached to it. Interest, which raises a quiet question. If all money is debt, where does the interest come from? The system requires continuous expansion, more loans, more growth, more money. If growth slows, pressure builds, defaults rise, crises happen, emergency money creation follows. This is not a flaw in the system. It is the system, and it leads to an uncomfortable truth. Trillions of dollars can exist without being earned because money is no longer a record of past work. It's a tool to manage the future. Governments borrow against future taxpayers. Central banks smooth future shocks by pulling money forward. Banks bet on future income streams. We are spending tomorrow's productivity today, most of the time, quietly. This is where hype and reality diverge. The hype says, we can print without consequences. We control inflation. We have tools. The reality says, every tool has trade-offs. Every shortcut has a cost. Every created dollar redistributes power. Not evenly. Not transparently. Money creation rewards speed, scale, and proximity to finance. It punishes savings held in cash. It punishes fixed incomes. It punishes anyone who assumes money is stable. This isn't good versus evil. It's incentives. And the SYST system is very good at protecting itself. When inflation rises, the narrative changes. Suddenly, restraint matters. Interest rates go up. Borrowing gets harder. The same people who benefited early now have assets that rose in value. The rest face higher costs and tighter credit. Again, quietly. Zoom out even further. This system ties countries together. A decision made by one central bank affects currencies, capital flows, and inflation elsewhere. Money created in one place chases returns globally. Housing bubbles, stock bubbles, debt cycles, all connected. So when you hear that trillions of dollars exist, understand what that really means. They exist as claims on future labor, future taxes, future productivity. They exist because we believe tomorrow will be bigger than today. And as long as that belief holds, the system holds. But belief is fragile. History shows what happens when confidence breaks. Hyperinflation, currency collapse, social unrest. Not because money was created, but because too much was created relative to trust. That's the line no model can perfectly measure. So here we are, living in a world where money can be summoned with keystrokes, where debt is normal, where trillions appear without being earned. It feels absurd, and somehow, ordinary. At the same time, the real question isn't whether this system is good or bad. It's whether it can keep working as the numbers get bigger, and the future gets pulled closer. Because if money is a promise about tomorrow, what happens when tomorrow stops growing fast enough to keep those promises? That's not a prediction. It's an open question, and we're all, already, part of the experiment.